I'm working on like 4 leather projects all at the same time, and in that process, I came across this old horn. It's already been cleaned for drinking, but to make it really useful, I need to make a holder for it. The item we're making today is actually referred to as a horn frog, and before any of the dads out there beat me to it, yeah, I guess you could refer to it as a horny toad. Anyhow, I went ahead and laid out these lines on this piece of paper so I've got reference points for my design. Once I get those laid in, I can get to sketching. This is the basic shape of the leather that I want to be on the outside of my frog. So, something like that. Let's go ahead and get this cut out here, and I'll show you how this is going to work. All unfolded, there we go. Perfect design, matching both sides. This is going to be my basic layout. It's going to go around the horn something like this. At least that's my plan. Maybe adjust it. I don't know. The leather's going to stretch a little bit, and hopefully it'll lay a lot flatter. Have to make a couple adjustments here in the back, but other than that, I think I'm good to go. I just went ahead and used my T-square to go ahead and lay out my basic design for the strap. That's easy enough. With my 2 pieces cut out, I'm going to kind of show you how this is going to go together. I'm going to bring the strap down here across the back, like so. There you go. The horn will sit right in here, and then this will fold over to create a belt loop. The law of the 7 P's says, proper previous planning prevents piss-poor performance. That's the reason I take so much time working on all my templates. Now I'm just going to go ahead and tape my templates down to my leather. Get everything lined up, use as little leather as possible, and now we can commence to cutting. Let's go ahead and get this all cut out. I usually start long, steady cuts with a box cutter. New blade every time, makes it a lot easier to cut through the leather. And once you get the hang of it, a box cutter is actually pretty easy to control in a situation like this, and make short work of cutting out your design. For the finer details, I usually use an X-Acto knife. I like this kind of knife because I can get into some of the tighter spaces, I can flex the blade, and it makes it really easy to make precision cuts. And that's it. All of our leather pieces are completely cut out. Working with leather, I've discovered that test fitting is essential. And here we go. It's going to fit together, again, something like this. I'll bring the strap down here in the back. Don't know how far yet. Kind of depends upon how far I want it to hang off the belt. But that's essentially what we're going to be looking at. I'm going to do a little bit of detailing on the leather here. Go ahead and cut some edge grooves. Not for sewing or anything like that, which is what this tool is normally used for, just to create a nice border design. There we go. Think it turned out pretty good. With that done, I can go ahead and hit it with the edge beveler, and we'll be able to move on. Once all the edges are beveled, I can go ahead and set this aside and think about my finished design. I went ahead and did the exact same process to the strap here. While the jackalope is the symbol of my channel, I think I'm going to go ahead and trace old Sasquatch in here today. Just going to go ahead and use this stylus and set the impression from this design that I cut out. Ought to look pretty cool if it works. Well, that's all finished. Go ahead and reveal, and there you go. Hopefully you can see that. Perfect. I sometimes get impatient working with leather, which isn't a good thing. So today I'm going to go ahead and use this Dremel to etch in my Sasquatch design there. Saves me a lot of time from having to, bevel it in or carve it by hand. If you got the right tips on a Dremel, this makes short work of working with leather. And there we go. My little design is perfectly etched in. Then I went ahead and used my Pebblestone stamp to add a little bit of texture to all that dead space. Let's break out the leather dye. I went ahead and used a golden brown leather dye, which is way lighter than it appears in this video. And I just went ahead and used a Sharpie to ink in old Sasquatch there. Let's grab some rivets and put this thing together. Well, I was kind of winging it there, but a rivet here and a rivet there, and I'm pretty impressed with how this turned out. See, I used 2 on each side, basically so that the strap doesn't spin. So that's the reason I used 2 on each side there. And then I actually used a dome rivet there in the center. Horn fits in perfectly, just like that. And this is what it looks like hanging from your belt. Overall, this was a fun little project and a great use of some scrap leather. It took up some time too while other projects were drying or setting up. Hey, if this project gave you some ideas, you know that I'd appreciate that thumbs up like. You can feel free to follow us on Instagram and see what projects don't make it to video. And this is where I tell you that maybe, just maybe, I'll see you on the next video. If you enjoy videos about the randomness of our amazing world, consider clicking on the globe to subscribe, or maybe checking out one of the other videos right here.